It's time to watch with Pete. So if you remember from the last video, I was debating on whether to go buy a lot of watches or not. Well, I did. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the watches I picked up and what interests me about them, and we'll talk a little bit about what I've done with some of them since I got them and what I hope to do with them in the future. I'd like to talk a little bit about 8 of the watches in this group, and while I have been able to learn a little bit about most of them, I still have a lot of digging to do. So maybe you can help me out. If you know anything about the watches that I cover, feel free to leave a comment about them below. I'd certainly love the help. Here are the 8 watches that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to get into a little bit more detail about. And I'm going to start from the left and move to the right, as that's sort of my interest level of each of these watches. This first one, I am actually not sure if this is a man's watch or a woman's watch or a unisex watch. It's by a company called Lancaster. I haven't done any real research on this watch yet, but it's not a terrible looking watch. I like the blue hands and the blue numbers in the dial. The bracelet and the clasp are kind of nondescript, but it's not a terrible looking watch from what I can see. I just don't know anything about it yet. The only thing I'm pretty sure about, I'm almost positive about, is that it is a quartz movement. So we'll do some more research into this one and figure it out. The other one, and this one's a really small watch, and again, I don't know if this is a man's or a lady's watch. It's a Bulova watch, and I'm going to move the hands a little bit here. And you can see it's a Bulova watertight. The little bit of research that I did see is I think this was made in the early 40s, which is kind of cool. I think that's neat. My son really likes this. He's 8 years old, and I think it'd be probably good for his wrist. It's pretty small on mine. I'm going to do a little bit more research into this one and see what I can figure out. I don't know if it's a manual wind watch or a quartz movement inside. I haven't tried to take off the back yet. I will, but I haven't tried yet. Trying to just turn the crown right here is really difficult, and I don't want to do any more damage that may already be done on the inside, so I'm just going to leave it alone and come back to that one. This one is an Armatron. I've only seen commercials for Armatron on TV once in a while. I don't know anything about this watch at all. It does have some information on the back. I don't know what the information is as far as the numbers are concerned, but I'll do some more research and find out more about what this watch is all about. The one in the middle is a Seiko. So you can see it says Seiko, and I think it says quartz right underneath it. I actually thought that this was a lady's watch when I first saw it. It's super thin. It's pretty lightweight. It's very lightweight, in fact. And it's very small as far as the dial or the case. It's very, very small. It does have some information on the back. I think it's this way. Nope. It's this way. So it does have some information which I'll be able to look into. My son likes this one as well. He asked me if he could have this one. Since he's a smaller guy at this point, it will probably fit on him pretty well. If we ever go out to dinner or something, he could wear this and feel like he's wearing a dress watch. And I think that's what it is. I think this was made back in the 70s. It's not a terrible looking watch. In fact, it's pretty nice. So we'll hold on to that one as well. This one you might remember from my last video, as I zoomed in on it and I didn't really realize what it was. And what it is really, I don't think it's really anything. It says Breitling. Breitling is a top-notch watchmaker. But this is a reproduction or a fake. I'm 99% sure. Again, feel free to comment below if it's not. But you can't really see from here, but the Breitling logo underneath is just painted on or printed onto the dial. It's not something that's been put on there. And usually I believe the Breitling logo is up top, not at the bottom. It's also I don't even know what the back of this is. It doesn't say Breitling or anything on the back, so it's got to be a fake, obviously. Which again, before I even went and picked up this lot of watches, I assumed it was. But it was kind of cool just to see a Breitling logo anyway. The Swiss Army. This was one that I talked about in my last video, my first video, as the brand that I bought as my first watch for myself. This one's actually bigger than the one I have. I hope this one works. It's definitely a quartz movement, so hopefully it just needs a new battery. I don't have a tool to open the back yet. That will be one of my next purchases, so I can do a little bit of work on these myself. Hopefully it's just a battery change and this one will start working. Definitely two distinct crown positions here. You can see the dates moving, and if I pull it out again, the time will move. So I'm really hoping it's just a battery on this one, but we'll get back to that. It's a nice shape too, overall. This one, you can see it's actually moving. It's working. Yeah, it wasn't when I got it. When I flipped it over, the case back was partially off, so I actually just popped it off. There was a battery in it, and I took it out, and I've replaced it. It's just a 377 battery, and I put a new one in, and it works. The problem with this watch is for some reason it's shedding paint. You can see as I scrape this off. I have no idea what's going on with it. For me, this would be just I don't know what I'm going to do with this watch. It's by a company called Waltham. I'm guessing it's Waltham, Mass, but I could be wrong. I need to do a little bit more research. It's not a completely hideous watch as far as the dial is concerned. I'm not sure what I'll do with this. And you can see, if you compare from the first video to this one, I took off the band on this. I took off the band on a few of them. The Waltham, the Breitling fake, the Bulova, they all had bands on them already. And then the last one, this is actually sort of weird. I was playing with this just before I set up everything, and all of a sudden, it started working. It's a Wittenauer. So I did a little bit of research on Wittenauer, and it was a company that started in New York quite a while ago, and it has since gone out of business. It's a little bit beat up. The case is, I'm sorry, the crystal is scratched. The bezel, which I've learned is this section around the outside. It's the style for when it came out, and I know when this one came out, at least I think I do, because on the back it's actually personalized. It was given to R. Kelly, the Superior Salesmanship of May in 1974. So I was not even 2 years old at that point. But I'm shocked. All of a sudden, it literally just started working before I started filming. I was playing with the crown, moving things around a little bit, and it started working. So obviously it's not a quartz movement. It's got to be a manual movement. It's really hard to move the crown, and to I don't want to break it. So I may have this one looked at. If anybody has any information on this watch, I would love to hear about it. This one excites me the most out of all of them. So these are the watches that I'm most interested in. As I said, moving from sort of left to right. The Wittenauer is pretty exciting. I'm not sure if I should be excited about it or not. I feel a little bit bad for the Waltham watch because it's just coming apart. All this paint is just coming right off. It's pretty bad. Poor little guy. I don't know what we'll do with that one, but it does work. It's actually the right time I set it to, so it is 10:25 at night. All the other ones we'll take a look at as we go along. If anyone has any idea if the Lancaster watch is a man's or woman's watch, or unisex watch, just let me know in the comments below. I'll see what research I can do. I don't really have much interest in the Armatron, but again, if I should, please let me know. The Bulova watch is cool. It's a little small. I don't think I'd ever wear it, but if my son likes it, we'll see if maybe we can get it going. I'm guessing this is a manual wind as well. Seiko is obviously a great brand, and we'll see what we can do with that one. I probably will not do anything with this fake Breitling watch. It'll go into a box somewhere. I won't toss it, but it will go into a box. I really hope the Swiss Army watch works after I put a new battery in it. We'll find out. And then the other two, this is the one I'm most excited about though. I can't believe it just started working all of a sudden. Really cool. I'm really excited about this one. And obviously, we'll never know who R. Kelly is. I'm guessing it's not the R. Kelly that we all know. Alright. That's all I have for these watches. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I found and what I've gotten out of these. And maybe you'll see them again in further videos. Thanks a lot.